Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, before we get started, um, the 15th and the 16th. I know it says in my other review, but you didn't watch that one. You watched this one. The 15th and the 16th. I won't be putting out a review because I got some good news. They accepted my paperwork for the Navy. So at this point, I'm just doing my physical and then see what happens. So fingers crossed, and yeah. With that being said, also after, you know what, I want to make sure I get this date right because I want to screw up. Oh my goodness, this thing is going so slow. Yeah, the 15th and the 16th. So, but then after the 15th and the 16th, you know, business as usual as far as reviews goes, for both GH and Days. So yeah, with that being said, let's talk about Jordan and Cyrus because Jordan doesn't seem like she really fully understands this whole power dynamic. You know, she's under this assumption that, oh well, you know what, I did my job, I did this, I did that, so I'm good, right? I can go home. And this is after she came in there and was like, "You killed Neil," and and Cyrus is like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So she sits there and tries to point the finger, and he just keeps denying it because, to be honest, he really doesn't know who Neil is. Um, of course, you know, she's all like, "Oh, well, if it's your drugs, you're responsible." And this is when we get into this whole power dynamic of she does not understand her place at this point. She goes back and forth, and at the end, nothing happens. Cyrus is like, "Yo, listen, you're still gonna be working for me. That's just how it is. And you know what? Next time when you come by, ask yourself a favor. How much is this gonna trouble me?" That's not what he said, but I'm kind of paraphrasing. He pretty much is like, watch your step. You know, don't get too comfortable thinking, you know, we got this little banter, this little cute banter going, but yeah, I'm still in charge. And you do well to remember your place. Because I'm going to keep saying this until I turn blue. Someone's going to have to die for everyone else to live. And that's it. After that, Jordan leaves and she sees Portia. And Portia is just like, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry for, you know, bringing up the past. And listen, I'm not interested in your man. So, you know, let's just move forward and move ahead." And that's literally what happens at that point. And at one point, Jordan did kind of slip up a little bit. It's like, "Oh, well, you know, Taggart is an amazing man." And Portia just chalked it up to great. Um, and that was about it as far as their scenes go. But let's. I need a drink. Not a drinky drink, but with that being said, let's go with Portia and Ava because Portia seems like she is just running that line. That line where she almost just starts to annoy me. Um, so she sits there and she talks to. This is after Trina since they're talking about getting more hours at the gallery and everything like that. She's all happy, and then Portia comes in, and so they have a chat. And you know, at first she's like, listen, I kind of wanted to somewhat apologize, even though she didn't say it, like about her intentions being good and stuff like that. I was like, okay, Portia, you're on the right track. Okay, you know what? Listen, Sam is cleaning up her act, and that's awesome. That's you're following suit. And then she's like, "Oh well, just to let you know, I'm not gonna keep my eyes off you, off of her, with your sordid past." And I'm like, "Oh hell no." I was like, you know what, Ava, if you decide to go World War III on her, I'm gonna sit there and say she deserved every single bit of it. Here's the thing: she's been giving her nothing but hell for a long time, and Ava has been being very gracious, mostly for Tina. Um, but bringing up her past is like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, sweetheart. Do you not actually have like a bad past yourself? Like, I get, she's in organized crime or whatever she was, but like, your past isn't exactly perfect either. So the fact that she had the audacity to bring up her past, like, like, wow, lady, you are, okay, you are starting to annoy me. But Ava took the high road, and she was just like, I get it, and I expect you to do that, and I would do that too. And Portia just seemed kind of surprised, like, because at one point, Ava was like, most people would tell me that I would tell them to go to hell. Or as I would like to say, off. But, she was like, she took the high road, and Portia was surprised, and I was like, you know what, Ava, good for you. If that was any other woman, uh, yeah, it wouldn't have ended well for her. Let's just put it that way. And, he kind of squashed it somewhat, and she was just nice to her, and I guess he kind of squashed it for now. I say for now because I just don't know with Portia. I also don't know with Sam, but one day at a time. And that pretty much ended that interaction. Let's quickly talk about Cam, Trina, and Jocelyn. So Jocelyn pretty much confronted Cam, saying that, hey, listen, I know about the kiss, and everything's out and open, and we're all good, and this whole drama could just be behind us. And that was pretty much about it. They decided to go to the dance as friends, and it was like, oh, we can invite Dev, um, which, by the way, I hope this isn't gonna be like a running joke where they just keep mentioning Dev, and then we just don't see Dev or whatever. Um, I mean, I like the actor that played Dev. It'd be nice if he comes back, but if he doesn't, just get someone else. As long as they can act, that's fine. And I'm not gonna. I'm sitting there thinking like the first time that they actually showed Cam, it was like he was very like dry, like very like I don't know, just like somewhat emo, you know. And then after like 1 or 2 days, it was like, nope, this kid is not working. So hopefully they find if he doesn't come back, they can get somebody for him. Um. All right, let's talk about Bobby, Carly, Valentine, and Martin Gray. So Bobby is pretty much telling Carly about the hospital and everything like that, and she's upset about it, but she doesn't want to file a lawsuit. And then Valentine comes in because Martin is sitting at the bar, or whatever, or on the table, not on the table, but in a chair somewhere. And then Valentine comes in, and Bobby's all like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. I'm gonna slap him or whatever." And I'm like, "Lady, this isn't the '90s." I probably talked about this in maybe my other review, but I'm not really a fan of the whole slapping thing. I'm not a fan of the whole woman slaps a man sort of thing. Like, I don't like that. I really don't like that for a couple of reasons, because this may rub some people the wrong way, but I kind of feel like it's a double standard. And if we're gonna sit there and talk about how a man shouldn't sit there and hit a woman, then we could sit there and talk about how a woman shouldn't sit there and put her hands on a man. So I've never, ever, ever really been a fan of the whole woman just slapping a man, or even just, I mean, I guess if you're gonna slap a woman, whatever, fine. I'm not really about that whole thing. I guess that was a '90s thing that just really needs to die out. But anyway, she walks up there and she's all like, "You did this, blah 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 blah," because she's upset about the hospital. She's upset about Michael, whatever. Which, by the way, they didn't seem. Carly was like, "Oh well, he fired Michael." He didn't fire Michael. Valentine didn't fire Michael. He just voted him out, he said he'll give him something to do. He seems like he's a smart person. It's not like he just kicked him off the job. Like, so I don't understand where that came from. But anyway, they have this whole conversation, and Bobby's all like, "Oh, well, I'll put my hands on you, this, that, and the third." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, lady." And then Brick comes in, and I can't remember this guy's name for the life of me. I think it's Stephen or Steven something. Anyway, whenever he comes in, it's just really, I don't know. I like the character. So he was all like, "Yo, listen, if you do, I'll testify." Because Martin's like, "Hey, listen, put your hands on them. I'm gonna call the cops. I'm a lawyer. I don't think it's a good idea." And Brick is like, "Nah, it's fine. I'll testify." So Carly's like, "You know what? Squash it, whatever." And they just kind of just go their separate ways. And pretty much Valentine's trying to figure out what is the secret with Nell and this paperwork with Julian. And Martin's like, "I can't tell because client privilege, whatever. I can't tell because she's my client and whatever." And so yeah, the whole time he's like they're trying to get it out of him or whatever. And then they go upstairs for some odd reason because I guess Valentine has to sign some sort of papers or whatever. And this is the time where Julian decides it's a good idea to break into Martin Gray's office to find out what's going on. Because he told, Ava, and Ava was like, you should just let me put a bullet in her head when I wanted to. And so they decide to go into Martin Gray's office to try to find out what's going on. Well, Julian does. And, 1 second. And, Ava being a lookout. Of course, that's the perfect time where he can't find what he's looking for. And, they go upstairs. And for whatever reason, the text isn't going through. And so she pulls the fire alarm, and Martin gets in there. He looks at his papers, like, "Yep, somebody's definitely been tampering my stuff." Honestly, tell you, if I'm not gonna lie, that scene doesn't really go too much of anywhere, except for the fact that yes, that letter is still there with Martin Gray, as far as now pretty much just outing Julian. And yeah, that scene ends, and there's sort of two last scenes. So Sam was being kind of annoying. I mean, not like in a like I don't want to see you anymore, just like kind of annoying. So she's sitting there talking to Jason, and she's all like, "Well, your mom wouldn't have been fired if it wasn't for me. And are you upset? Are you mad? Are you upset? Are you mad?" I'm like, "Sam, if you keep asking him, he might get actually upset because you keep asking him to be upset with you, and that's literally it for like what 15 minutes. Are you upset with me?" And Jason's like, "Do you want me to be upset with you? Like, this role play? Like, what are we doing?" And Sam is like, "Oh well, I just I want to take some of the blame and responsibility." And Jason's just like, "Listen, it happened. It's not your fault. It's Valentine's fault. Let it go. Move on." They literally go for this for like 15 minutes until they get a call from Julian. Because Alexis is, well, still going through grief. Alexis is with Julian. Like, "Julian, you're pretty awesome right now because trying to be around Alexis is like walking on eggshells." She keeps into saying, "Well, how could I not know?" Blah, 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 blah. This whole guilt trip thing that she's going through. And Julian's doing the best he can to sit there and try to help her. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I felt like Alexis was gonna blame Julian for some odd reason. Like, I felt like it was that much on edge. So when Alexis was like, "All right, you need to go," Julian was like, Julian didn't even actually really fight her that hard. He was like, "Are you sure? I mean, you're not gonna be here." Like, "No, I want you to leave." "Okay." And he just walked out, and then he called Sam. Sam and Jason went there, and well, she didn't want to go over there. She didn't want to go to stay with Jason and Sam, and she just wanted to be by herself. So after about what 40 seconds, Sam was like, "All right, well, if you need me, call me." At this point, I feel like anybody that talks to Alexis about Neil is walking on eggshells, and I'm not gonna blame her for how she feels. It just sucks for the person that's have to kind of take the brunt of her anger, of her frustration. But I guess that's just how grief works. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I really feel like I kind of actually covered everything. Yeah, not really a lot happened. Yeah, that's actually it. Tonight they think I was like, nope, that's it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know this came out super late. It's kind of a long day. But I want to thank everyone who's been watching. And everyone who's just been giving me positive vibes about this whole, military process and everything. So I thank you. I thank you for your comments. And we'll see what happens. But one day at a time. As far as this whole thing, I'm trying not to really. I don't want to sit there and say get my hopes up, but just try not to be. I'm being optimistically cautious, if that makes any sense. But anyway, enough about that right now. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and thanks for all the support with the channel and the military stuff. So have a good day, good night, and I will catch you in the next review.